The yellow,
the yellow
Puma.
shoes. You want to see that?
All right, those Pumas are rocking right there.
Thanks very much.
So we're here with Rand Fishkin, CEO of SEOMOZ.
You got it, yeah.
Tech Professional of the Year, Bloomberg 2009. It's been written about in PC World, Newsweek, Business Week.
I don't even know about the Bloomberg one. That's new to me.
Yeah, it's on the web, dude.
All right, I have to check
People
that
who
out.
do their research will know. Top SEO guru in the world, like what Lady Gaga is to pop, you are to SEO.
Geez.
He studies Google
Recap my
patents.
fashion sense.
And you saw the yellow Puma, so you already know.
Yeah.
So Rand, there are a lot of fly-by-night shops out there they're doing a lot of not quality work, engaging in some black hat techniques, doing things that aren't sustainable in the long term, trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
So SEO is very new. People don't really understand it. It's a very complex science that's consistently changing, like always changing. So what would you tell people or prospective business owners to look for to make sure that they thoroughly vet a client, thoroughly vet a vendor?
Yeah, that's a tough issue that a lot of people face, right? Because they essentially say, I know that SEO is important to my business. I know that there's a lot of people searching online. I know that I can derive value if I can earn rankings and those kinds of things. But there are, as you said, a bevy, just a host of SEOs. In fact, many of the ones that rank well, even for things like SEO company or SEO services, that don't provide a good quality product, that don't serve their clients well. And I would say that there's two big things that potential clients, anyone who's contracting out SEO, can do. The first one is educate yourself on the SEO process, right? There's good beginner's guides to SEOs. There's some good books on SEO. There's a free one on SEOMOZ. Just search for SEO guide. It's like the first result.
That's how I got my start, by the way.
Okay, that's awesome.
The one where you had the consensus, it was like the factor, then all the people talked about it, and then it was like how much of a consensus. That's a great starting point.
So that's, if you search for Google ranking factors or search engine ranking factors, you'll find that document. And I would check out those resources. I would learn them yourself. You kind of think, but I'm outsourcing this. Why do I have to go through the trouble of learning SEO? And the answer is, if you don't have that basis of knowledge to start with, you can be hoodwinked by somebody who tells you one thing that you know isn't true. And it's great. If you've read those documents, you understand them, you sort of got the basics of SEO, it's going to be very hard to pull the wool over your eyes in a conversation, right? You'll know instantly. The second thing that I would do is I would very much want to ask them about some of their previous client projects, right? The previous people that they've worked with, and be aware that it's not always the case that if their client isn't ranking particularly well or not doing that well, that's not always necessarily a bad thing. A lot of SEOs will deliver consulting and work, and these are the things you need to work on, and then the client won't necessarily go to work on those, right? So when we were in the consulting business, we found this a lot. Deliver a big report, and then 2 years later, all those things are fixed. But 6 months later or a year later, many of them aren't. So what I would do though is I would talk to them about what they did on the project, how they helped those people to do better, and I would make sure that that fits in with your risk profile and your philosophy. So if you have a high risk profile and you say, I want to rank for 5 days no matter what it takes, and I don't care if I get banned after that, well then maybe a black hat, gray hat operator is okay.
Actually, it might even be better for you.
It might even be better. Probably. Well, I don't know. The power of Twitter lately has been convincing me that you can rank short term with some really white hat
case
stuff.
study on the beginner's guide.
It's amazing, man. But I would say that if you have a long-term business and you know that you want to keep this website, you want to stay in Google's good graces, and you're willing to sacrifice some of that short-term benefit for long-term gain, then you want to find an SEO shop that reflects that, right? They're going to talk to you about it. We need to build a great base of content. We need to make sure that content's accessible. We need to do good keyword research. We need to get that keyword targeting in place. And we need to build up social campaigns, and we need to grow your audience size. And then we'll start to see over time, slowly but surely, that you'll move up in the rankings, you'll earn these trusted links. If they tell you, oh, you want to rank for blue widgets? Yeah. I know some guys who run some websites for $500 a month. I'm going to put your link here and here and here, and we're going to get you up to the top for a blue widget. That kind of stuff, sometimes it works even for 6 months or a year, but it's so dangerous in the long run, and it builds little other value than SEO. One of the beautiful things about building up this base around SEO is it means that you have lots of other inbound marketing coming to you. You know, I think that one of the it's not exactly an obvious part of SEO, but one of the best ways to do great SEO is to diversify your traffic sources. If lots of people are sending you lots of good traffic, the search engines want to reward you too. If you're not earning traffic from, you know, Facebook and Reddit and StumbleUpon and Twitter, and nobody's sharing your links via email, and nobody's searching for your actual brand name in Google, something's wrong with you, right? You're just not.
There's an anomaly.
There's an anomaly. So those two things, I think you'll really be on a good track for picking a good SEO.
The future of search, and I think that speed and social are the two kind of signals that are going to be very, very important moving forward in terms of,
So I would broaden speed to mean all forms of usability and user experience, because I think Google's just doing so much, especially with this Panda Farmer update. They're looking at so many diverse signals from Chrome and analytics and, you know, the Google PageRank toolbar, collecting a ton of data and using that to bias the search results. So if you don't have great usability and user experience, which includes speed, you're out. But I agree with you totally on social. Totally.
Great. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah, my
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it.